bedroom light. Now you're dressed in black. When I left, you're dressed in white. Can you feel me in? Can you feel? What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Bossin Out, everybody. It's yours truly, CB, alongside the one and only Donnie B. We've got a very special guest in the house. We've got the one and only, the Caparoni, the main Caparoni, AD in the house. What's going on, guys? What's happening? Woo!
Exciting week for football coming. I'm excited.
It is. It is. You smell it. You feel it in the air.
Well, I feel it.
I feel
something.
I feel something. Well, before this, I'm going to shit myself before we got in here. So, definitely feeling something. But I'm excited. NFL playoffs. It goes so quick, doesn't it?
It does. 17 weeks down, just like that.
Yeah. It's just. I remember it was like week 1.
Or 18 weeks, I should say, right?
Yeah. I know, right? What do you think about that extra game?
I don't know what the point of it is, honestly.
Everybody kind of is like half sat, but I mean, I guess it could mean something, but it's just a little weird when I see the records and like 9 and 8. I'm like, oh, is that like?
They were talking about even adding another one possibly, but then adding another bye week on top of it.
What's the point of that, though?
I mean, it could make a difference. Are they going to adjust the playoffs at all?
Well, they would have
to.
Push
everything. Playoffs stay the same, and they push playoffs back.
You're going to have Super Bowl in March before you know it. You keep adding games and bye weeks.
Well, it's all about the big Mamu. So sell more ad dollars and more games, more merchandise, more TV rights, and
yeah, but they might have the Players Association get involved. Be like, hey, that's another game, another injury risk.
Yeah,
we don't need another DeMar Hamlin situation with those extra games.
Yeah, thank goodness that everything worked out there.
Of course.
But yeah, NFL playoffs, I could feel it coming in the air tonight. My nipples are getting a little bit hard thinking about it, but we got a big weekend coming up, don't we?
We do.
I know.
We do.
And we're donning our colors here. I got to get a new jersey. This is like LaShawn McCoy from 2013.
Like a kid's schmedium.
I know.
Over there.
This is like 30 pounds ago. Yeah. I bought this.
Modell's
like
days?
hanging off of me. Yeah, off of like the clearance rack.
2012.
Like, hugging on to me at every inch of my fibers here. But we're donning our colors. Sorry, Caparoni. You had a little bit of a rough go, but you won the whole big shebang.
The whole thing last year, so I can't complain.
I was like that after the Eagles, when I'm like, you know what, I'm good for a while. But now I'm ready for another one. It's just like I'm full. I'm ready for dessert. I'm ready for some pie.
All right.
A couple of big matchups. Let's get into NFL playoffs before we dive in the rest of the show here. We've got the Seattle Seahawks. Kind of a sleeper coming out of nowhere this year. If you would have asked me in September of the Seattle Seahawks with Geno Smith, I'd be like, what year is this? Is this like 2009? Like,
is this the college football playoffs we're talking about?
Yeah. Against the 49ers. We're returning to Santa Clara. So what are we thinking there? Unbiased, of course.
I think the Niners, they even cover. I think they win by 10, if not more. I'm not worried about the Seahawks. We're better all around, every position. Not worried about it.
So you got the 49 lives of the 49ers this year. Who is your starting quarterback? Like the peanut vendor or something like that?
I mean, tomorrow it could be someone new. It could be Josh Johnson.
The janitor, from the LA Wildcats of the XFL.
He's basically played for every single team in the NFL.
But unbelievable. Like, all right, Trey Lance goes in. Holy shit, what are we going to do? Oh, you put Jimmy G back in. It has a solid season. Oh, Jimmy G goes in. Holy shit, what are we going to do? We put this guy named Brock Purdy in there.
Mr. Irrelevant.
And what a story that is.
That's what I'm saying. He's special, man. The kid's special. There's gonna be a quarterback controversy next year. What do you do? If this kid, especially if he goes in and he gets to at least the NFC Championship game, what do you do?
Well, he's probably making like $37 an hour because
I mean, we got 2 quarterbacks now on rookie deals, so Garoppolo's gonna be gone, obviously. So it's a great problem to have.
It's a tremendous problem.
Especially Purdy's contract.
Yeah, last pick of the draft, kids making minimum wage pretty much in NFL terms anyway, and yeah, it's a great problem to have. I'm not worried about it.
Well, and you could always. The good thing is you could either trade one of them for a high draft pick too.
They could. I don't think they're going to trade him yet. I think they want to max out their chances with these what do you call it? The rookie contracts.
Mm-hmm.
They're cheap. Just see what you can get out of it.
And they've had so many injuries at the quarterback.
So many injuries. So who knows what's going to happen? We have injuries everywhere, honestly. So who knows what will happen? I say use it to your advantage until you can't no more.
I know, but you got Deebo Samuel. I thought was out for the year. He got carted off the field.
That was scary.
Usually, whenever the cart comes out, I'm like, oh, there goes the season. There goes the season.
I thought it was over. Yeah.
But they said he was out jogging and he's like ready to go. I think
he played last week of the season.
I did.
Yeah. He came back.
Yeah. But yeah, looking sharp there. I'm also going to pick the 49ers at home. I just don't know if the Seahawks have enough to combat the home team.
I think it'll be a competitive first half, and then I think the Niners are going to close it out in the second half.
Caparoni, what do you think?
I think the 49ers, because for the fact that the Seattle coach came out and pretty much said, crap, we have to play the 49ers. Like, that just no morale in your team. Like, you're basically telling your team, hey, we're going to lose this game. So that just tells me the 49ers are going to win because the team's going to, have no motivation because the coach is already expecting to lose.
It's all mental. And when you have to walk in there, it's so hard to win a road game in the playoffs, especially when you're playing against a team they're scalding hot right now.
10 straight.
10 straight.
We were 3-4 at one point.
And then what did you put up, 54 on Tom Brady or something like that? I think
I forget what it was, but yeah,
it's like 30. It was
blew
like 35-7.
I think it was like 28-3 something in the first half, something like that. It was insane. Or 28 nothing. I remember what it was. It was a blowout in the first half.
I love it. I'm going with the Purdy power in that one.
Yes,
I'm going to go with.
Yes, sir.
I think your 49ers are going to sneak by there.
I think so.
So then we go down to Duval. We've got my main man, Doug Peterson.
Your life hero.
My life hero, Doug Peterson, who's got a statue out front of Lincoln Financial Field.
Well, I guess it's both your life heroes.
It is, indeed, yeah. Shout out TK. Wink and a nod. So we got the Jacksonville Jaguars returning to the playoffs for the first time in 5 years.
Yeah.
And they're playing against another handsome devil in Justin Herbert. What is in the water today? Like, all these kids that are coming out, they're handsome as fuck. I'm like jealous.
We grew up at the wrong time.
I'm at the wrong time.
I don't know what's going on.
Like, who was like starting quarterback when we were like, you had like Brian Greasy for it's just like, who else? Rich Gannon, who's got like a chin down here.
You used to have guys with missing teeth and all the time playing. Like, it's way different.
Yeah, it went
now.
from like men to like GQ models. Look like Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yeah. Stud. Handsome. Yeah, the first one was like Tom Brady, and everybody's like, you know what?
But did you see Tom Brady's like combine? Dude's out there in boxers looking like the most average accountant that you could ever like pick. So like that's what we had growing up. Next, now you literally got GQ models playing quarterback.
If you give me $70 million a year, I will figure out a way to be handsome. I will go into some body shop plastic surgeon and be like, go ahead, go to town.
Come out like a Ken doll.
Be like, well, sir, this is going to be a little expensive. Be like, I don't recall asking. Here's the black card. Go to town. Make it bigger, put some hair back on there, whatever you got to do. Whatever.
Make what bigger?
What?
He said make it bigger.
I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about. So we got the LA Chargers coming to town down in Florida, Jaguars. What do we think?
I got Chargers. Trevor Lawrence is so bad. You see that game? Like he did nothing in that game last week to clinch it for him. It was all the defense. I don't know. Justin Herbert is beyond more talented than Trevor Lawrence. It's Chargers.
But does they have enough to go on the road and do in the playoffs?
Yeah. I'm not considering get far past it. They'll beat Jacksonville and then lose their next game.
What do we think, Caparoni?
I'm going to go Jacksonville just for the fact that the Chargers limped into the playoffs. One of their key players got hurt last week, and Mike Williams, they didn't even need to play him. So, it's going to depend, too, if he plays. And I think, Jacksonville, a home playoff environment, can definitely help them for sure. And their defense has been hot. But the Charger defense, struggled big time last week against Russell Wilson, who had like one of the worst years we've seen out of him ever. So that's why I think the Jags. I'm going with for that one.
They said Russell Wilson has more bathrooms in his house than he had touchdowns this year.
Yes,
he's got like 13 bathrooms. He had like
that
12
team's just bad all around. The Broncos. I don't care what anyone says. That team is terrible.
Yeah, I feel like they're going to be paying for that investment for a long time. The Russell Wilson contract.
Of course. Not to mention all the draft capital and players they gave up. To win what? 4 games? 5 games? Whatever they win?
Yeah, I mean, they'll get a high draft pick, but still.
That they will.
Not this year, though, because they don't have it.
That's right, they don't have it.
It's gone.
I think the only thing that would help them is if they get like a Sean Payton in there, and he brings in a coaching staff, and he's able to attract some other big name free agents.
I think they're leaning towards Harbaugh right now. I think that's the favorite. So
coming back out of college,
leaving Michigan.
Why does he want to do that?
Money.
And also, there's those things, potential allegations against him where he could get suspended in college for
the Pete Carroll route.
Some little infractions.
He bought a kid a cheeseburger.
Get the fuck
and that's considered a level 1 infraction.
Especially with all this NIL stuff, and he buys a kid a cheeseburger, and now they can lose. Who knows? They can be kicked out of the play or postseason. Who knows? It's ridiculous.
And I think what made it worse is he refused to cooperate when they did the investigation.
I mean, I'd be like, it's a cheeseburger, bro. Like, it's a cheeseburger.
Literally,
Yeah,
like the
at least
Alabama starting offensive line are like millionaires. The
Getting
NIL deals.
Maseratis the day
Yep.
they come on campus.
I don't understand. I don't understand all
No, it makes no sense.
the what goes into this.
Well,
but
either
it's
does
bullshit.
the NCAA because they flip flop on everything. It depends on the team, the player. If you have big status, they'll look away. It's so
Well, Michigan's a big
inconsistent.
school.
And if you think about
It
it, some of
is,
these
but-
players just struggle to eat at that age. Like a lot of them come from poor families, and a cheeseburger is, maybe they haven't eaten all day, all week. Like it's a good meal. So what's wrong with
It's not like
getting
it's
a cheeseburger?
Yeah, it's not like it's Reggie Bush and you're giving his mom like $400,000 for like her house or something.
Well, I mean, Reggie Bush back in the day, they should give that guy his trophies back. That's some bullshit.
Oh, I mean, it wasn't like he was busted for like PEDs or like nothing that he got affected his performance.
No,
it
it
was
wasn't
still
running
pure
around the field
talent.
with wang out
Yeah.
or anything like that. Come on.
Could you imagine if he played in the NIL era?
Oh,
Dude
my
would have been
God.
a billionaire before he got to the
Literally,
NFL.
he'd be a mogul.
He would have
A
been,
mogul.
especially playing in like LA area. He would have been a billionaire. You would never even have to go pro.
Do you remember that team? Like,
Yeah, Matt
how old were you
Leinart.
guys when that was 05 to
05,
07?
yeah.
05 to 06.
You remember that running back room? Reggie Bush and Lendell White.
Yeah.
Oh my
They
God.
had
Matt Leinart at Q.
and Dwayne Jarrett. They had who else? Did they have Mike Williams or something
Yeah,
like
but
that.
the original Mike Williams, not
Yeah.
the Chargers one.
Yeah, the one that went to the Lions.
And then
but
was a bust.
it was a bust. I mean, actually, all those guys were busts if you think about it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Lendale was actually not bad as like a bruiser back for the Titans for a
And
little while.
Reggie was good, just not USC good.
Yeah.
I mean, they were saying he was the next Barry Sanders.
Yeah, he had a very
Was
average.
Palabalo on that team too?
Troy Polamalu, I think he was
I
a
don't
couple of years before. He might have
I
been
don't
like
remember.
03. He might have been with Carson Palmer.
Okay.
Carson Palmer was like
Yeah.
03. He was the
Yeah,
quarterback.
yeah. That was
Um,
a deadly team, man.
That was fun. They were like literally like a pro team in terms of like status
Yeah.
back then.
That was the Bama, like what you see now.
Yeah.
But back in the early 2000s.
Yeah, it was. So we'll see what happens. I mean, I'm excited. I know we're going off topic in college now, but I'm excited for Coach Prime from Colorado. What do we think?
I don't care about that.
No?
It's irrelevant. It's first of all, it's Colorado. Second of all, it's the Pac-12.
But he's fun to watch.
It's a cakewalk. It's probably.
Well, he's got one more year where it's not a complete cakewalk. Once the teams leave for the Big Ten, then it's a complete cakewalk.
Yeah, but it's still, even then, I mean, you had USC you lose to Utah. Utah loses. They're terrible. The Pac-12 is terrible. It's second worst to the ACC. Or not ACC. Yeah, the ACC in football. ACC is terrible football, too.
If he does well there, I could see him getting moved up to a big school, like a big time
Honestly,
school.
all he has to do is go 6-6 first year for success. They had, one win last year? He goes bowl eligible. That's already success.
Yeah, I mean, he even said, he's like, I don't want to coach in the NFL. I don't want to coach rich men. I want to coach young men who need direction. I'm like, I have respect for that.
Yeah, but wait until his agent says, yo,
Yeah.
so-and-so wants to give you $15 million a year to go coach him. I'm like, okay, I'm
The
out.
Las Vegas Raiders want to give you a
Yeah.
casino named after
Yeah,
yourself.
exactly.
The Prime
Exactly.
Casino Hotel Resort and Spa.
Money talks.
Once their stadium rights
Yeah.
come up, Prime Stadium.
That's it. Yeah.
He'll be out, yeah. 3 years of Colorado.
I'm going to go with, because my boy Dougie P is a winner, I'm going to go, circling back here, I'm going to go with the Jaguars. I just feel like they're going to pull it out here.
They're not.
See.
They're not.
Well, I feel like they got a little good luck charm that's sitting in the stands in the press box. Is going to be moving and grooving over there. Then we got a big time matchup. We've got the Miami Dolphins going up to the frozen blizzard
I don't even
tundra.
think you can say it's a big time matchup.
Bills. We're on agreement. No Tua next.
I think we're in agreement. I think unanimous across the board.
That game's a
It'll be.
blowout.
Yes.
Bills by minimum 17.
I hope they practiced at least this week.
It don't matter what they do.
It doesn't
Well,
matter.
Tyreek Hill was banged up to his hamstring last week, so he's going in all hobbled. Then you have, their third string quarterback playing. There's just
There's
no
shot.
chance, especially with what's going on in the city of Buffalo, like them all behind Hamlin. There's no way
No shot.
they
It's-
lose it at all.
I agree, and it's actually good for them because it's a good tune-up game for them.
It's basically a bye week.
It is
It's like
because
a preseason game, pretty much.
I didn't see last week. Did they after the Cincinnati canceled game? Did they play? What was it? I'm trying to think of the final week of the
They
season.
beat New England, and they took.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny. They took the opening kickoff back for a touchdown, and they said their last opening kickoff touchdown was 3 years and 3
months.
days, or
Oh,
3 months.
yeah,
are you kidding
yeah,
me?
from the last one they had, which was Hamlin's number was 3, so it was all coincidence there too.
Is the NFL scripted?
It sounds.
You know what I'm
It's gonna
saying?
be like a
It's
made-for-TV
It's like a
movie.
Hollywood script. Like,
It's
come
a
on.
Lifetime
Very
Network.
weird. Very
Yeah.
weird.
I agree. I think Buffalo runs a train on them. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, not even close.
but we'll see. Another could be a little bit of a coin flip here. The G-men go to Minnesota.
Yeah, I'm taking the Giants in an upset. They played them close earlier in the season. I think if there's going to be an upset this week, I think it's that one. I'm not saying Minnesota won't win, but I think the Giants might do it. Just feed Saquon.
Yeah, what do you think, Caparoni?
I'm going to go with Minnesota just because it's at home. If it was in New York, I'd be more inclined to pick the Giants, but Minnesota's home crowd,
Anyone know what time that game is? Is it prime time? Because it's prime time. Kirk's not winning.
That's what I was going to say. I don't know about Kirk Cousins.
What time's that game? Hold on.
I'll have to find it out. Caparoni, can I top you off? Can I top you off over here? What do we got?
I'll take one too.
Yeah, there you go.
Because that's a big difference depending on what that game time is.
If it's 1 p.m., it's Vikings and a lock.
Let's see.
It is, yeah.
Kirk Cousins loves his 1 p.m.
He does.
It's a 4:30, so it's a toss-up.
So it's not prime time, so
I'm still going to go Giants in an upset. Like I said, I'm not going to be surprised if the Vikings do win, but I'm going to take the Giants in an upset.
Has Kirk Cousins ever won a playoff game in his career?
I can't say. I don't know. I
He
can't
might
say.
The year they went for was Case Keenum.
That was before Kirk Cousins. That was with Sam Bradford
so
was out for the season or something.
I don't think they have with Cousins.
I think he went with Washington one year, but I think they got knocked down the first round. Maybe I don't know. That's a good question. I'll have to look that up. But
it's good. I think the game's going to come down to Daniel Jones on who wins the game because do you get like the Daniel Jones of old because this is his first big time opportunity.
Well, if they force him to throw the ball, if they force him to throw, it'll be tough.
Because the Giants are very weak at receiver, so if I'm the Vikings, I load that box up and make Daniel Jones beat you in the air.
You're telling me Galladay's not elite?
I mean, based off the contract number, you would think, but based on his catch total and drops, definitely not.
Yeah, it'll be a good game. I'm actually excited to see that one.
it'll be. I think it'll be close.
Honestly, it's my favorite game outside of obviously the Niners for me that I'm most interested in for the opening weekend of playoffs.
It's good for if you had to bet on it.
If I had to bet on it, I'd probably take the Giants. Whatever
Who's the over under? And who's the underdog in that?
You
I mean,
know,
obviously Minnesota probably is the favorite.
It's definitely the Giants just because.
But what is the line?
Well,
Is
let's
it like
see. Well,
it's got to be maybe like minus 200 Minnesota favorite or something?
We'll check with the very, very reliable BetMGM.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to BetMGM. I love you guys. Feel free to drop some money in my account.
There you go. Yeah, for a little sponsor. Yeah.
So, all right. So Giants are +3. Over unders 48. I would probably take the under. Because I don't know if the Giants are going to score too much.
I would probably go the under as well on that.
I go probably the under.
You don't think either team is capable of putting up 24 points each?
It'd be like
the Vikings could.
It'd be like a 24-17.
Here's the thing. Yeah, the Vikings could get halfway there on their own, but I don't expect the Giants to match that. If the Giants win, I'm saying it's like 21-17, 21-13, something like that.
That's a good. We should do over-unders for all these games. So circling back real quick.
I got it still open, I think.
Niners, Seattle, over-under, what do we think?
Over-under is 42. I'm going to take the over. Niners are averaging 34 points right now with Purdy by themselves. So I'm taking the over in the Niners game. Chargers, Jaguars is 47.5. I'm going under, I think.
I don't think the Jaguars are going to put up that. I don't know.
Bills, I'm going over. It's 43.5. Bills are probably going to score
43-0.
They'll score 43 themselves.
Yeah, so that's an over.
And G-Men and Giants.
Definitely
G-Men
under.
and Minnesota.
That's under. It's 48.
Yeah, that's under.
It's 48. As of today, obviously. Obviously, the lines can change. And then Baltimore, Cincy, which we didn't get to that game yet. That's 40.5. I'll take the over. I think Cincy's going to probably score near 30 by themselves, especially with.
Yeah, and if Burrow turns the gas on.
But then again, Baltimore's playing a backup QB, so I don't know how much they're going to score.
They just played 2, and I think they were under that as well. They just played last week. But the only thing is, I think Huntley might be coming back for the Ravens this week.
If I were to bet that, I'd probably take this Bengals -9.5. I think they're going to blow them out.
That's a good one.
And then the last one, Cowboys Bucks over unders 45.5. I am probably going to take the over on that.
I think that's fair. I think Tom Brady's just going to turn into playoff Tom.
Yeah, I'm going to go over on the 45.5 on that one.
I would take the under on that one because the Cowboys' strength is their run game, and that's the Bucks' strength is their run defense.
So it could be a bruising matchup.
Mm-hmm. It's going to have to be through the air, and Dak through the air lately has not been very good.
We shall see.
All right, so G-Men and Giants, you're going with. G-Men and Minnesota.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Giants. I'm going to go with the Giants.
Vikings.
I think the Vikings are going to squeak out the win in a very narrow.
And like I said, I can see them winning. I
Yeah.
can see them winning. I think there is going to be an upset this weekend. I think it's going to be that game.
I mean, they totally should. I mean, Justin Jefferson.
They should win.
Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, Minnesota should. They should have no excuse. What's the next one?
Baltimore, Cincinnati.
Cincy, no Lamar.
Yeah.
That's not even. It's gonna be like a Buffalo Miami game.
Yeah,
just
they just
blowout.
played last week too, and Baltimore has no pass game right now because
Yeah.
they're just a team who doesn't care about adding receivers to their team whatsoever.
Yeah, that's not even
So
close.
since he stops the run, it's done.
I have zero interest in watching that game. I'll probably rather play Xbox and watch
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Like
Just
zero
keep the
interest.
score up on your phone.
Just
check
bet
out
it, check my
once in a while.
bets. Yeah, that's it. That's
yeah.
it.
I think I'm in agreement. I think Joe Burrow gets a tune-up, and he puts on his ice necklace.
He's throwing 3 touchdowns probably at least. He's throwing 3.
And they're pretty healthy
I
at
believe
this point.
so.
Yeah,
I think so.
Jamar Chase is back.
Yeah, their whole team's back. Yeah,
So look out.
Yeah, Jamar,
they're
Higgins,
just
Boyd.
missing their right tackle.
And then their tight end, I think, Hurst. I don't know if he's coming back.
He's back. He played
He's
last
back.
week. Yeah.
Mhm.
yeah.
And they have more than enough to win that game anyway.
All right, and then we've got Tampa Bay and Dallas. Probably one of the more interesting matchups.
But not for the right reasons.
No, just because it's
'Cause
Tom.
that game could be ugly.
Could be.
Because you don't know what you're going to get with the Bucks. There's times where they look decent, and there's teams that look atrocious, and same with the Cowboys.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? That game could either be very high scoring or very, very low. You know what? I'm just going to give the Tom. He's at home. It's Tom. I can see Dallas winning, but it's a toss-up to me, honestly. I'm going to go with Tampa, I think.
I think I'm going to go. I'm going to go with Tampa as well. Because Dallas just the last 25 years has just done horrible in the playoffs.
What do you have?
Horrible.
One wild card win with Dak. It was first, second year.
It was 3-4 years ago or something.
Yeah, so-
But since then, they haven't. Since
Done
Aikman
anything.
and company, they haven't been solid in the playoffs.
I'll go Tampa.
Yeah, I'm going to go Tampa too, just because, like I had mentioned, Dallas relies on the run game, and Tampa does such a great job of taking it away. And Dak, the last few weeks has struggled passing, especially last week against the Commanders' defense looked putrid.
Yeah,
They're pretty
throwing
good
the ball.
defense, though.
Yeah, but you want your quarterback. He's supposed to be a star quarterback, one of the top in the league, and he's throwing it was 3 picks in the game.
Yeah, it wasn't good.
So and especially heading into the playoffs, you want to head into the playoffs with momentum, and they have none right now. So that's why I think Tampa, because Tampa, started to heat up a little bit the last couple games and find something finally. And then it's Tom Brady in the playoffs. You can never rule him out. So that's why I think Tampa at home is going to take it.
I think so too. I think it's
Strong
another animal in the playoffs. Tom Brady.
Yeah.
I don't ever count that man out.
No, not until he's out. If he's
No.
still in there, he's got a shot.
Yeah, he does.
You know?
I mean, I was in 6th grade when he was playing.
What was it 2001? Was it?
2000 he was a rookie, and then 01 is when he came in
So
for Bledsoe in the
2000.
02 Super Bowl, beat the Rams.
We were 4th grade.
Well,
when
the
he
other
came
thing
to the
too
league.
is the Tampa roster is very similar to the Super Bowl roster they had 2 years ago. The only thing that's really different is pieces of their coaching staff. They have a new head coach who was part of that staff that was a coordinator. So I think since their players have the experience of making a run through the playoffs, that helps them too. Because Dallas has no experience of making a run through the playoffs since they always lose right away.
Well, they got McCarthy who won a Super Bowl, but I don't know
what,
who.
3 lifetimes ago.
2010,
Yeah, with Aaron Rodgers.
Yep.
and
Prime Aaron
Charles
Rodgers.
Woodson was still
And,
playing.
Was Driver on that team?
Yeah, Donald Driver was there. Greg
Cobb.
Jennings.
Yeah.
Greg Jennings, yeah.
Yeah.
Cobb, right?
Randall Cobb. Yeah.
Much different team.
Much. Yeah.
Much
Yeah.
different.
Different
team.
lifetime. I think Jordy Nelson was still on that team.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But Tampa's coaching staff is still relatively the same. I think Todd Bowles and Byron Leftwich are both
Yeah,
there.
Bowles is just the head coach now versus the defensive coordinator. Leftwich is still
The O
the O coordinator, but the year they made the run, Bruce Arians was calling the plays, but Leftwich wasn't. So that's the only real difference is Leftwich is now calling the plays, which a lot of people say is why they're struggling so much is because of him.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
And well, the thing is, I think Bruce Arians is still with the organization as a consultant or
Yeah,
something.
he's in their front office.
What does
yeah.
that even mean? What do they
They
consult?
put him on. I don't know.
Just
Maybe
he's,
personnel decisions they
free
help with.
he's
Like,
just stuck on payroll.
I want to be a consultant.
No one knows what they do.
I don't know.
They just sit there and get a
They
paycheck.
consult.
They consult. Consult what? Consult who?
I'm consulting.
Yeah, just give recommendations.
Just have me in the room. I'll consult.
all you say is looks
I'll
good,
consult.
doesn't look good.
Yeah,
That's all
what do you
say.
do?
Looks good.
I
Be like,
consult.
Carl, what do you think? I don't like it.
I don't like it. I don't like it.
Like,
Yeah.
Carl, what do you think about this?
Do you have an idea? Come to me with a new one. That's your job.
I feel like it's a very low pressure job because you can give your opinion, but if it fails, you didn't pull the trigger on it.
No.
The GM's pulling the trigger.
I know
It's
the
like, yeah, do that. Oh shit, failed. Well, GM said do it.
GM, you know what? I'm,
You signed off
I'm
on it.
consulting that we
I'm
need to
just
get a new GM.
I'm just a consultant here. You just just bouncing ideas off you. You didn't have to take my idea.
Yeah, you didn't. I'm the consultant.
We need a new GM. That's good.
That's gonna be a T-shirt. The consultant. It'll be
yeah.
us, like a shadow figure.
You
like
could
this.
ask any football fan. I guarantee you, 99% of them could not say what they do, what that job entails.
Yeah, a lot of these guys become consultants after. How do you get that job? It's almost like they want to like keep them on payroll because they have dirt on somebody, and they keep it as like hush money or something.
That's probably what it is.
It is like.
Couldn't tell you what else it is. But I'm gonna figure out a way to become a consultant.
Let's be
any
consultants.
team.
You want to be? Let's be consultants together.
Maybe they never get fired. You hear about the coach getting fired, GM getting fired. Consultant he just keeps consulting. He outlasts the whole like organization.
Shout out to. Let us know how you be a consultant. I promise you, I'll be the cheapest consultant in the entire National Football League.
Yeah. Just a measly six
Let us
figures,
know.
nothing big, you know.
Yeah, just give me like a measly just give me $999,000.
That's still six figures.
I'm sure that's more than.
I'll take a practice squad salary. Isn't it like 15 G's a week?
Yeah, it's
I'll
like
take that. Give me whatever your practice squad player is getting.
But for the whole year, though, not just the season.
Mm-hmm.
And then some season tickets, maybe too.
Give me a box and I'm good.
they
I'll even pay for the food. I don't give a shit.
The Eagles did have a Josh McCown, I think, a year ago. Like they put him on the practice squad. They paid him like 12 G's a week to just stay in shape and just hang out at home.
But he hung out in Texas.
Yeah, he was coaching high school in Texas.
Yeah,
I think.
and they said, all right, just stay in shape in case our quarterback blows out his ACL. We need to fill up a roster spot. Then we'll fly
Imagine
in.
your job telling you that, but hey, don't come in the office. Don't do anything.
Just work out and stay in shape.
Just stay in shape, and you know what? We'll pay you, and we'll call you if you need you.
Well, knowing myself, stay in shape. Well, that's not exactly. Hey,
just
you pay me
have a ride.
$12,000
Just have a ride to get to the office if we need you. I'm like,
Done.
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 Love it.
Should be a week of. There's some duds on here. We'll see, but you never know. Sometimes the duds turn into like some of the craziest matchups you could see. Watch for Totally Wrong. Watch like all these. Watch like Buffalo loses. What would you do?
I would like that. My mom and grandpa are Dolphins fans, so I would be happy with that.
What do you think the line is on Miami? Is it like minus 5,000 or plus 5,000 for them?
It's probably not good.
I'm gonna guess 2,500. That's my guess.
Oh, you guys are actually way off. Right now they're plus 600.
That's it.
Plus 600, and they're plus 13.
That's not a good bet then. If
plus
it was
13,
like
plus 6, yeah, it's not.
That's not because if it was plus 2,500,
I put like $5 on it.
And you want to parlay that with Baltimore, which is also plus 2,500. That's worth putting $5 just for laughs on, and you turn that into
Baltimore's plus 360.
That's it.
Against Cincy, and they're not, and they don't have Lamar.
Interesting.
I think they're trying to fuck around with the lines. Vegas are trying to. I think they do that to try to get people to like put money on stuff.
Very odd. Very odd. Yeah. So think about it. If you took the $50 on plus 360, get you 230. And plus $650 to give you $350.
And the fact they're the road teams too, and that's only the lines. Like if it was at home, okay, maybe you put a little closer. But they're
with
on
backup
the road.
quarterbacks.
Yeah.
If you picked Miami and parlayed it with Baltimore, $50 would give you $1,600.
All right, that's worth it. Yeah.
But they're both not going to win. They're both going to lose.
We'll see what happens.
Yes, we will.
Yes,
days
for
away.
sure. All right, so shifting gears a little bit. Your favorite game wrapped up. Let's say the 49ers won. Let's say it's the Rams just capped off another wallop in the NFC. You know, in last year, not this year. What's like a favorite post-game activity that you like to do after you just capped off a big win? Doesn't need a playoff game. It'd be like, let's say you just capped off a good 1:00 game against a division rival, and you got the rest of the afternoon and evening to just chill out, knowing that your team just put a beating.
I just relax because it's nice. My anxiety's gone.
Yep.
And if they win, I love just scrolling through social media, reading the comments, seeing the highlights. Now, if they lose, I'm avoiding all social media. I ain't talking to anybody. But yeah, if they win, I'm just relaxing, scrolling through social media, watching highlights, and enjoying it for a week because you never know what's going to happen next week.
Yeah, I know for me, too, one of my things I like to do is I like to talk shit to my friends. Who were the whole week saying your team's going to get their asses kicked, and you just text them like, well, fuck you. My team won. Suck it, bitch.
Oh, my God.
I love it. I remember in high school, the ritual was the Eagles won, I wore a jersey that Monday or Tuesday.
Yeah,
that was big in school.
That was the big thing.
That was big
If
in
they
school.
lost, I didn't.
Although now kids start wearing them even after the team loses.
Which is lame. It's lame.
It's kind of weird. Yeah, it's
I used to only wear an Eagles jersey if they won on that Sunday or Monday if it was Monday night.
Middle school, I had a Monday jersey every time the Niners
Which
won.
my team was so bad back then, it was very rare I wore a jersey on Monday because they were going 2-14 so many years.
Well, the Rams, I'm trying to think of all the early 2000s, you guys were good.
Yep.
You had the Super Bowl year, and you went back again, 02.
Yep. Then after Warner left, we had Mark Bulger had a couple, decent years. Then after Bulger started to fade off, then it was all 2-14, 8-8, 7-9. Like it
Bulger,
was all,
Mountaineer legend, baby.
Yep. It was all bad.
Another guy not handsome versus what they look like now. It's crazy. I don't know what's in the water.
Not handsome. Yeah, you hit guys like Mark Bulger. The Niners had like
I feel
Sean
bad.
Kelly.
Gus Farad.
Like who the hell? Tim
Gus
Rattay.
Farad, yeah, Tim
Yeah,
Rattay.
we're doing great
Jeff,
here.
The Eagles
Jeff
had-
Garcia.
Hey, Happy Feet,
Hey,
stud.
hey, I love. Hey, Jeff Garcia dates or married to like a Playboy model or something like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Shout out to Jeff Garcia. I love that man.
Jeff, if you ever come across this, I don't know why you would, but shout out. You were a big time in my memories with the Niners in the early 2000s.
I will love that man forever for that one season the Eagles had him in 2006. McNabb goes out, and it was like, oh, fuck, the season's over. We had a good year. We had, like, Dante Stallworth. Westbrook was still on the team. All right, season's over. Jeff Garcia comes in and says, you know what? Not so fast. Starts throwing 3 touchdowns a game, 300 yards a game in the snow, just, like, takes a beating and wins a playoff game for us, and almost beat the New Orleans Saints that year in I think it was not the championship, it was the division round game.
Was that the year after Katrina or the year of Katrina? 06?
The year after. It was
After.
yeah, because that was the year the Saints lost the Bears in the championship game. Bears lost the Colts in the Super Bowl.
Yep.
Gotcha.
The Kyler
But I'll never forget
what was it?
that.
Oh, Rex Grossman was the quarterback that year.
Rex
for the Bears.
Grossman, yeah. Shout out to Rex Grossman. Yeah.
Sexy Rex, baby.
Yeah. That's a cool name. That's a man's name. Yeah, if I have a son, say, I'll name him, what's your name? Rex Boss.
I don't think you have the genes for a man.
I can't.
You seen this produce women, bro.
That's what I do. I'm surrounded. I'm drowning in the estrogen ocean. Yes.
Maybe it's because you lose the estrogen as well yourself. So
It is, yes. It's that X chromosome for me. But yes.
Poor Carl.
That's all good. It's all good. But what was your go-to jersey in like middle school, high school that you would wear after a big victory?
Back in middle school, I had 2. I had the throwback '94 Steve Young jersey,
Yeah.
but also our current running back at the time was Kevin Barlow.
Yeah, Kevin
I
Barlow.
still have that jersey.
Is he Penn State guy? I forgot.
No, he was Georgia.
I'm thinking of
say?
Michael Robinson. Was
Michael,
right after that.
I loved Michael Robinson. You kidding me? But yeah, those are my big jerseys: my Steve Young jersey and my Kevin Barlow, which I still have both of them.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
So I had a few. I had my Torrey Holt.
Torrey Holt.
You had a
Shout out.
Bruce
I always
too,
had
right?
him.
Yep, I had an Isaac Bruce jersey. I had a Marshall Faulk when I was a little younger.
Yeah, you did.
But then I also, once Marshall Faulk left, I merged into a Steven Jackson one as well.
And Steven Jackson played for
yeah.
like
Yep.
18 seasons
He
after
was the
that.
running back of all their dog shit years. Was he?
Oh, they wasted him, man.
They were bad every year, but he would just pump out 1,000-yard seasons like it was nothing.
And he was fun to watch too. Receiving yards and
Where
all
did he play
that.
after the Falcons?
Uh,
for a little
yeah,
bit?
yeah.
Once he
For
a year or
what,
two.
He did
1 or 2 years?
Patriots as well.
Did he play for that? I don't remember.
Yeah, he did.
Yep.
For what, a year?
Yeah, it was just one season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's their later years. They bounce around. Remember Emmett
They-
Smith
they-
played for the Arizona Cardinals for
Well,
2
that's like,
seasons.
That's like Frank Gore too. After the Niners, he just bounced around all over the
Dolphins,
Yep.
Buffalo,
The Jets.
the Jets, Colts.
Did
Yep.
he only retired like last season?
I don't even know if he officially retired. He don't play. He doesn't play anymore. But I don't think he ever came out and said yeah, I'm done.
He should just come back for just one more game, just to say that.
Well, he did say
he's
he's
the
going
oldest
to
running back
They
in
were
history.
talking about-
retire as a Niner.
Tio was trying to come back at
He's
49.
49. Yeah, like
He
come on.
was I think running drills like last week.
He
they
played
said.
in an indoor league.
He played in the fan controlled football
Yes,
league
yes.
for like
I'm
the
just
Zappers.
afraid,
or
I'm just
something
afraid he's
like
going to take one huge hit and break his hip at this point.
I don't know. He looks to be in good
Hey,
shape.
just picture it now, right? Brock Purdy driving down the Super Bowl game-winning drive. The 49ers win by a touchdown pass from Mr. Irrelevant to 49-year-old Terrell Owens.
Yes.
49ers win it all. Hollywood, you can't script it better.
He can't.
You can't script it better.
He can't.
Let's go.
I
I just picture one, runs a little cross right over the middle, just one linebacker just pops him.
Or a
and,
safety.
He needs a knee replacement the next day.
and I hope if they somehow maybe they wouldn't, but you never know. Actually, if they somehow play the Dallas Cowboys in the playoffs, I hope
Spike on the
he,
star.
He goes to the star and spikes it right there, or just like
That's
I
one of
would
the
pop.
best memories. I love that.
I would
Tito
pop
was
for
such a
that.
badass back in the day.
He was, and I have a very love relationship for that guy again.
Yeah.
I mean, for what he did to the Eagles. I mean, for that one season, I'll forever treasure it. And then what he did after, where he was the biggest villain ever. I I had a black TO jersey. I put a big red X over the numbers. I wore that to school. I'm like, yeah, what now?
I hate you.
Wasn't his first catch as an Eagle like a touchdown on Monday Night Football from McNabb?
His first catch as an Eagle was a preseason game. It was McNabb threw it
Oh, it was
81 yards. It was like a go route. Threw it 81 yards to TO in like a preseason game against Baltimore. It was just like, yes, let's go. Let's fucking go.
Yep.
I was those fans always tape over jerseys, whether it's like putting an X over their number or like taking like some masking tape, putting over the player's name, and putting another player's name that joined the team since then.
There's a lot of go. If you go to the Eagles Stadium, you'll see a lot of that because Carson Wentz wore 11. Now A.J. Brown wears 11. So a lot of people crossing out.
Eagles fans are cheap, too. So
Can't just unsew Wentz and then get Brown just sewn over.
You
top
probably
of it?
could if you get like crafty, yeah.
Or you be like the people who just get jerseys from China, you know. A nice little cheap one.
Yeah, but speaking of Carson Wentz, what a fall off that guy's had.
I know. I feel bad. I almost feel
terrible.
bad.
Ever since that injury, he's never been the same.
He is terrible.
The injury he had with the Eagles
Against the Rams. Yep, he was
Losing out.
heading towards MVP season, towards ACL against the Rams, because, you know, he's soft and couldn't handle a nice hit by a man, you know.
You know what? I can't be too mad at him. He got us 13-3 that year and laid the groundwork for Nick Foles to win the Super Bowl for us. I mean, that you couldn't script a better ending than that season.
Yeah, you can. Brock Purdy, Mr. Irrelevant, winning a Super Bowl.
That's a great movie right there.
If that happens, that would be the greatest story in football history.
Tom Brady,
I think so.
His story,
Tom Brady's story,
Kurt
too.
Warner's story, that's hard to top as
They
well.
made a movie out of that. They literally made a movie.
Yeah, they
American
made a movie
Underdog,
out of his
right?
story.
Yeah.
Like, you know, that's hard to top, too.
Did everybody see that? Was that any good? I didn't see that.
No.
I enjoyed it. I mean, 'cause I'm a
I
Rams
wonder
fan,
why.
You know? But even if I wasn't a Rams fan, I actually enjoyed it. It was a good football movie.
Shout out to Kurt Warner, another handsome man.
Says who?
Says Kurt. I do. I think he's a handsome guy. You think Kurt Warner's a handsome?
Striking gentleman.
He's a handsome guy.
bum.
He looks good now. He's got the salt and pepper gray, and
Yeah,
I'm
but
like, that's a handsome son of a bitch.
He almost caught a manslaughter charge on Anquan Bolden on the Cardinals. Almost killed that dude. Remember that?
No, he
That-
killed Anquan Bolden. What?
Almost.
Are we
Remember the
starting
throw
rumors
to
here?
Anquan Bolden in the end zone, and he got rocked, broke his face mask and everything?
Oh,
Kurt
I
Warner
think
said
so.
that if Anquan didn't come back, he was going to retire right then and there.
Wow.
He felt terrible about it. You don't remember that? It was like a
I-
Monday night game or something.
I don't know. I mean,
He got rocked. It was bad.
I was hoping they would pull out the Super Bowl in 2009 against the Steelers. That would have been
Yeah.
cool to see, like, one more for Kurt Warner before he hangs it up.
And just a random team like the Cardinals.
I remember when they announced that matchup, I'm like, well, this is going to be a rout.
Yeah.
Steelers are going to demolish them. But it was actually, like, a great game.
I just
They had a
remember
great
that.
offense that year.
They did.
Yeah, Larry Fitzgerald and
Anquan
Anquan Bolden. They had,
yeah.
I think Edgerrin James was still there. I think they had, it's like a Jizz Rogers, Jack Wiz Rogers.
Well, they had Arians as their head coach, too.
Was that Arians was the coach? Was he the coach?
Oh my!
Yeah, Arians
No. Ken Wisenham was the coach that year.
Arians was on the staff.
Was he on the staff? Or I thought Arians was. He was the interim coach for the Colts.
He's still
and
thinking
then
about Jizz Rogers over here.
Jacquiz, not Jizz Rogers. Was it Illinois he played for? Jacquiz?
Well, it was like Oregon.
He was like the.
Oh, it was either Illinois or it was Oregon
like,
State.
yeah.
I can't remember
I think
which.
it was Oregon State.
I used to always pick him up in fantasy as like a flex player because he got a lot of. He used to get a lot of like
Is it 'cause you
PPR
thought
points.
His name was Jizz and you're like a middle school boy. That's all you did back then.
Dude, I can't believe you said that, Jizz Rogers.
Well, I used to pick him up all the time in fantasy because he always had.
You know what? I gotta look see who he played for.
Because he used to get a lot of PPR points as like a flex player if he needed an extra guy.
That's all.
But,
An extra guy.
oh my god, that's something
Oh,
else. Good times. Good times.
Oh,
if I could
my
just get this
God.
thing to work.
He's only 32. He's not a league forever.
Let's sign him.
Oregon
Sign him to the
State.
team.
Oregon
His
State.
Jizz, you know.
Who am I
Good.
thinking that played at Illinois? Back in that around that same time. He was a quarterback, wasn't he?
I don't remember now, honestly.
And Carl just ruined the live. Or not the live, the thing.
There we go.
Oh, we're good now.
Okay.
We're good.
Who was that Illinois quarterback?
The quarterback?
I think he was a quarterback. It wasn't Jacquiz. Well, yeah.
He was
obviously-
like he was a
He was
tailback.
a running back, Jaquiz.
I know, but I'm talking about Illinois though.
They had Juice Williams was the
Juice
quarterback.
Williams. That's
In
it.
that year, that era, that
It was around the same time. Let me see. I'll
Yeah,
see what
around the same time. Yeah, Juice Williams.
So, Jacquiz got drafted in 11.
You're gonna smirk every time you hear that name.
Because you said it like an asshole. Juice Williams was 3 years older than him. So he got drafted in 10. Undrafted in 10. So a year before.
And he was around for a while, until like 2015, 16, something like that in the league.
Juice?
No.
Oh, yeah.
Now, Carl's dream now would be if Jaquiz Rogers worked at a sperm bank now.
He could, yeah.
He was in the league from 11 to 18. Then he spent 19 on the practice squad for the
Sounds
Saints.
about right, yeah. Good stuff. Let's keep this moving a little
Let's
bit.
go.
All right. So let's say you got. All right. Let's open this question. What's your favorite network to watch football on?
Fox.
See, I don't know, because the broadcasters are always changing now, so that's what makes it tough,
I just don't like
anything
CBS.
anything with
like
Aikman
either.
and Buck, I don't like.
I don't really care about the commentators
They're
too
on
much.
Monday
You know
night
what?
now.
My favorite thing
Yeah.
to watch, honestly, is the Manning cast.
That's how like a lot of things are going now. They're kind of doing that kind of barstool style, like
Because
I don't like it.
with the college football, they did the McAfee cast.
I don't like that. I just want to watch the game.
Yeah, if it came to actual ones, I enjoyed Tirico and Collinsworth this year. I mean, Collinsworth, is kind of an idiot sometimes, but Tirico, I like.
I never liked Collinsworth.
You know what they should do? They should get a combo of the two opposites. You get Tony Romo, because the dude just knows every
I
single
loved.
play.
I mean,
I
I
would
hated him as a Cowboy. I love him as a broadcaster.
He's a phenomenal
I would take
broadcaster.
Tony Romo with anyone. Maybe like a Tony Romo, Mike Tirico. I would enjoy.
No, fuck that. Tony Romo,
Mm-hmm.
Pat McAfee. You get the best of both worlds. You get the comedy, and you get the guy who knows everything that's happening at all times. That's my dream lineup.
Pat McAfee.
Well, they're both kind of color guys. They need the one guy to kind of steer the ship with them.
Tony
though.
could do it. I mean, even McAfee could do it. It'd be wild. It'd
would
be
be.
wild. It'd
You
be
know, just
entertaining.
put Pat McAfee there by himself, and let's just see what happens.
Guarantee you, wherever McAfee was, whether he was alone or with somebody else, it's going to be the most watched network of games.
You know, it'd be fun. Put Al Michaels with Pat McAfee. So you got the old school, traditional broadcaster,
They would hate each other.
He might quit that.
and then
day.
you got him in a tank top with a gold chain just screwing around.
They would hate. Yeah, McAfee shows up like topless, like drunk, like a sombrero on for some reason. Yeah, it would be chaos.
His whole crew he works with too, because he had the one guy he works with that showed up to the the college football playoff wearing a tuxedo T-shirt while they're all in suits, everyone else around.
And he's cursing on live TV.
Yeah.
He said,
was cursing on top?
McAfee said something about the Georgia Bulldog. He's like, "That's a bad, what is he, a bad bitch?" Like right on live air, and like all the come to the next one. That's a bad bitch. Whatever he said, I can't remember what he said, but it was hysterical. If you find the clip, you gotta look it up. It's so funny.
You know who's actually funny? These on the Amazon team now for Thursday nights. Ryan Fitzmagic is he's on
He's
the
on
panel.
Amazon now. Yep.
Wait, isn't Herb Street on that?
He's on that with Al
He's on the
Michaels,
broadcast,
but then they do
yeah.
they on the field they got
The
the guys down
broadcast.
there.
That is a good team, though. Herb Street and
Yeah.
Al Michaels. They do a good job.
I like it. Although Al Michaels is pissed because the games are horrible on Thursday. Every
yeah.
one of them has been like a horrendous.
I'm trying to find that video
Yeah.
real quick for you.
Yeah, I don't think they ever thought that through. Like, when they make the schedule, like, let's put all the dog shit games on Thursday nights, because that's what it seemed like this year. Like, not any game was competitive, or if it was competitive, it was super low scoring.
I think they're like Amazon will be. They probably negotiate. They're like Amazon. All right, we'll give you Thursday night, but we're gonna pick the matchups. And they're like, all right, we'll just put all the shittiest matchups.
I'm going to be
over here.
curious how it works now with Google taking over the Sunday ticket. How that's going to work out with Amazon and everything. Is it going to affect them at all, or like you never know? Because
Yeah.
Amazon was in on the bidding on it.
That's gonna be interesting. Yeah, all this stuff's kind of going to streaming now.
I hate it.
It's
hate
it's
it.
just it's
Everything. I mean,
You need a streaming service for everything now. I mean,
everything. Every channel.
yeah,
I just hate that I have to keep paying for stuff. Like,
I feel like it's going to make it more expensive than having a cable package
is.
with everything. Because everything's like $10 to $15 a month. But you need Netflix, you need HBO, you need Peacock, you need ESPN, you need this, you need that.
Well, it's
I'm like,
weird though, because the cable prices keep jacking their rates up for their just having cable. So I think that's why these companies get away with it, is because cable, instead of saying let's lower our prices to get more people to come
But
back
here-
to us,
yeah.
they just keep bringing it up and up and up instead of doing the other way, and then more people keep going to those streaming things. So it's still cheaper.
The only thing is, though, I guess if these things are going to streaming, then these companies are taking their shows off the basic cable. So you go and get their streaming. So what does cable do? How do they survive?
Just,
I don't know.
I mean, how does DirecTV survive now?
Well, they're not.
Yep.
Now they just lost.
They lost
Sunday
their
Ticket.
biggest
Billions of dollars,
revenue.
yeah.
So,
No one really has satellite anymore. Like no one. I like maybe know like one person that has satellite TV.
No, it's
like,
all streaming now.
Because like, what's the point? I remember going to like my cousin's house who had satellite when I was a kid, and like anytime it rained, the TV would go out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, bad weather and all that. It was innovative like 20 years ago because if you wanted to watch like a West Coast feed of something, you could do that or get games in different areas like the Sunday Ticket model. But now we're in this streaming era where it's on your phone. You can watch whatever you want.
Anything. Yeah, it's wild.
But I mean, it was smart to leave DirecTV though if you're the NFL because their platform became such crap at this point too. So I'm curious to see.
Well, also they're losing. They're probably losing viewers because it got to the point now the last at least couple of years. You had to live in a certain area to get the Sunday Ticket. So if you didn't live in a certain, like for me,
you had to live in an area where DirecTV wasn't offered.
Yeah, so me, I couldn't just get some like before. Like in the early days, I could get just Sunday Ticket, but now I guess because Hamilton or the town you live in, it's like okay, well you can get that, so we're not going to allow you to get Sunday Ticket. So I'm like, I'm not buying the satellite dish. So for one thing,
they restrict it even more who can get it. So I think that's why it's good. It's going to Google, and I saw a possibility too. They were talking about where you might be able to subscribe to just get your team's games.
Well, that's how it should be. I don't want to buy 40 teams.
Yep.
I want my team. Give me all their games, and I'll be happy.
You can pay a lower price too.
Like, if I want the Niners, give me the Niners. Like I think it's like KNBR, whatever it is. Let me have their telecast. Let me buy. I'll pay whatever it is. Because I'm not going to watch any other team. I don't care.
Right. I mean, and then give me that and give me the Red Zone channel. So if I'm like watching fantasy or doing betting or anything like that, I can just see when a team's in the red zone and any action going on.
Do you enjoy more the DirecTV Red Zone guy, which is Albert Breer, or do you enjoy Scott Hansen, who does all the others?
I think I'm indifferent.
I don't care. As long as you just give me the product. I don't care who's announcing it.
I've watched a few, and I feel like Albert Breer is very bland. Like, I enjoy my Scott Hansen.
Oh, don't get me wrong. Scott Hansen is great.
Yeah.
But, like, if my only choice was Albert Breer or whoever, I'm watching for the games, not who's talking.
Now, the one thing I've always wondered is, what do they do when they have to go to the bathroom? Because they're on there for 7 hours. Like, imagine
you just piss yourself.
Imagine you're just on the air and you have to take a massive shit. Like, what do you do?
Just go.
Just go.
Yeah, or they're just sitting there with the pens and they're like sitting there like smirking at the TV while they're...
Maybe he just
he's
mic'd up. Maybe he just walks to the bathroom, takes a piss, and they just edit out the piss somehow.
Yep.
Could. I mean, I'm sure they would. Commercial break, either that or you just go. You just piss.
Well, there's no commercial break.
Yeah, there's no commercials.
You just pee.
There's no way the guy goes 8 hours. He dehydrates himself every Sunday.
That's impossible. Yeah.
But if you got to shit though, that takes some time.
Devaney, why don't you call him up, see how he does it? Because you're very concerned about his bowel movements.
It's one of life's mysteries. What do they do?
Send him a DM. See what he says.
Hey, quick question. Yeah.
We'll bring Scott Hansen on the podcast.
Yeah. What do you do? Gotta take a steaming dump.
Yeah.
Did I say his name right?
Scott Hansen.
Oh, okay. Make sure I got that right.
Or Chris Hansen. He'd be a good broadcaster. Chris Hansen, take a seat.
See, that's what I thought I said. I was like, wait a minute, that is not the NFL guy.
No, that's not. That's the much different guy.
Yeah. The guy you don't want to meet.
No, you don't want to meet that guy. Yeah.
They're gonna call the Hansen brothers to come sing you a song too.
God. We'll get Scott Hansen, come on the podcast, and we'll get down to the details that everyone wants to know.
Yes.
What do you do for 8 hours? How do you
relieve
things?
Yourself?
Yeah.
And how do you just talk for that long? Like, are you like?
It's a talent. It's a talent. It's a low key talent.
I could talk for a while, but
8 hours is a different breed.
Yeah, that would be.
I don't know if I could go that long without eating either. That's a long time.
I don't know.
Scott Hansen, we need to know the answers, buddy.
We do. All right, but to keep this moving right. So, who's your dream announced team be? If you had,
I told you,
make one.
Romo and McAfee. Pat McAfee.
That would be a lot of fun. I think I would tune in just to listen to that.
I don't care who the game is. Yeah. Two worst teams in the NFL, and that's going to be even better. McAfee's going to be ripping them.
Yes.
So, Romo and McAfee.
And Romo would be like, I don't know.
Well, here comes this play. Here comes a pick six, and they're running this, and there it happens.
Carrie Underwood stops by in the booth, he's there, whatever he dates now.
That's my squad.
Who's your go-to?
I'm going to say Romo Tirico.
I like that, yeah. I'm gonna go with my my hot and cold and a little mix of two ends of different worlds. Al Michaels and Pat McAfee. I just want to see them just go at each other's throats.
Generational difference right there, man.
Yes, and I want to see I wanted to see them tell a story over the seasons. They start out, and by the end of the season, we've got Al Michaels wearing a tank top with a gold chain, and we get him to kind of move into the new generation a little bit.
Man.
I think that would be.
He might retire before that happens.
He'd be like, "Do you believe in miracles?" Yes.
I would love it. Also, shout out to Pat McAfee, Mountaineer legend. Let's go Mountaineers.
You gotta love. You just love him. He's
great.
like somebody you want to hang out with.
Yep.
I want to drink with him.
That's a guy you
love
want to
to.
be with for sure.
I wish I went to West Virginia while he was there.
Oh, can you imagine?
I would love.
How
that.
old is he?
He's probably like 35, 36.
Is he that old? I think he's. I feel he's like relatively close to our
Let's see,
age.
I mean,
We gotta check.
I think
Check
he's
the
about
sources.
35 now because he retired. You remember he retired like younger than most people.
He probably retired like 6 years ago.
And your
Yeah, it's
puncher,
been a
you can
while.
last forever. You play
Yeah.
till you're like 40, 42. Like,
Pat McAfee is 35 years old.
oh wow. Okay, he's only like a year or two older than me. Cool. Shout out to Pat
You could have
McAfee.
been buds at West Virginia.
We sure could have while I was at MC Cubed. Yeah.
Only if you went there.
Yes. All right, so let's say you got tickets to the big game. You're heading down there. You know, it's Sunday at like 10:30 in the morning. You got a 1 o'clock game coming up. What's your go-to
That's a late start.
Huh?
That's a late start.
Or at 7 o'clock.
There you go. There you
What's your
go.
go-to kind of tailgate kind of setup? Or maybe you're not at the game. Maybe you got the afternoon to yourself. You got some buddies coming over, and you're gonna go pick up some food for the game.
That's easy, man. That's easy. You got the wing. You have the wings.
Mhm, absolutely.
Wings. I like hoagies. You can get like those 6 foot whatever hoagies. And you know, I love that.
Dial them up, dice them up a
You
little
know,
bit.
I like the basics. I like the hoagie. I like the wings, dogs and burgers. I like the basic stuff. And obviously, you got the Miller lattes flowing.
I love a good
Now, what
But,
kind of
yeah.
wings would you go with?
You do a little mix. I like a traditional like hot wings, like hot sauce, whatever. I like some honey barbecue. I'm not picky. You give me wings, I'm gonna eat them.
I think I'll go with the classic hot.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah,
Although,
that's
you know,
easy.
sometimes you gotta be careful. You don't want to be shitting your brains out in the middle of the game. You know, after having
Oh, it don't matter. It's
after
fried anyway.
After crushing 20 wings and a bunch of
Debating
beers.
if I'm eating wings, burgers, hot dogs, and drinking beer, I'm shitting regardless of the
I've
flavor
always
of it.
found it interesting to know the people you see at the game that are just like taking a shit in the men's bathroom.
What are you gonna do?
No,
not
I'm
go?
saying with how disgusing those bathrooms are.
You hover over like a
when they just
helicopter.
plop
Yeah.
their cheeks right on the toilet.
Or are you
They
doing
just-
upper decker? You ever hear of that?
They can't do that.
That's where you shit in the water tank.
Yeah, you know, Carl. You can't be doing
Yeah,
that.
you
You're
got-
35 years old, Carl.
I
34.
would.
You gotta
I'm a
do-
gentleman. I
You
don't
gotta
do
do the hovercraft.
I would
There
do
you
the
go.
hovercraft,
Carl,
yeah.
34 years old, upper
Yeah.
decking stadiums.
Now when I find upper
True,
decker,
true
yeah.
Philly trash.
I would-
If I ever encounter
I
an upper
wouldn't
decker,
do
I'm gonna
that.
know who did it.
It's a calling card, like the Wet Bandits. And
There you go. The Philadelphia sports fan comes out. Typical. Typical.
So as it's, I always like if you go to, I don't know if they have it anywhere. Buffalo Wild Wings, they always had the Table Gator sampler, which
Oh, yeah.
had wings, had the hot pretzel with the
Yeah.
cheese dipping sauce, had jalapeno poppers, some nachos.
Talk about an ass explosion. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. I'm not going to work the next day if I eat that.
Well, so here's the problem. I'm like a golden retriever. Once I start eating, I don't stop eating until I get like sick. So, which is a problem. Remember the 2013 Super Bowl? It was the Niners actually against the Baltimore Ravens.
Yep.
We went to Wild Wings. We were there for like the whole game. We ordered all this food, and then
God.
we ordered the dessert nachos. You ever ordered
Dude,
those?
I got a shit just thinking about this.
I took one bite of it, and I'm like, I'll be right back.
Oh, man.
I went in there. I like threw up everywhere
Oh.
because I was drinking for 4 hours. I had all these like
Dude,
fried appetizers,
My stomach
wings,
hurts thinking about this.
and my wife went with me. My girlfriend, the fiance at the time, and she'll eat like one little thing and give me the rest on top of everything else. So like I did all that, and
The
then
fact that she stayed with you after all that, she saw you at your grossest moment. She's
Yep.
like, "That's my guy."
13 years,
13
she's hanging
years.
on.
Or she's like, I guess I'll do. Like
Yeah,
at this point,
whatever.
It's like the
I'm
song
in
by
too
Wilson
deep.
Phillips. Yeah, that's a good song by Sum 41.
Yeah.
I'm
What year?
in too deep, 2003, I think.
Ooh, you're
I'm
not
in
confident.
too deep. Check it out. Sum
Okay.
41. I think it's
You said 03. We gotta go with the first answer.
The faster we're falling, we're stopping and stalling. What do we think?
All right, here we go. You said 03.
Anticipation. It's either 01 or 03. Come on, help me, Bobby. All right. Caparoni, what do you think? Is it 03?
I mean, you're just an encyclopedia. I'm going to say it's probably
Of useless
03.
knowledge
Yep.
that I can't monetize, yeah.
Ooh, you're wrong.
Fuck. Is it 01?
01.
Damn
September
it.
4th, 2000. We stumped the Carl. When it comes to music,
I
we
would say I'm
stumped
pretty
him.
good. I'm pretty good.
Maybe
but I'm
all
not
this time he's
perfect.
been saying random years and we just believe
We
him.
just believe him. But this is the first confirmed fail that I've gotten from you.
I've gotten a few fails, but I would say
I
I
haven't
always tell
seen
people
it.
I'm pretty good. I'm not perfect, but
This kid's just pulling out random again.
that's on the same. That's a good
Sure,
album. That's the
totally.
same album with Fat Lip.
Yep.
Yeah,
You know,
I think
that's- you know, remember that album?
Of course. That's when they were like they blew up.
Yeah. No, I'm not the one you knew back in high school. Never showed.
Wow.
Good stuff.
We stumped them. I'm
I
happy.
did. Yeah, I
peaked.
dropped the ball there.
I peaked in life now.
I miss those bands. They don't make music like that anymore.
Nah, early 2000s music, 90s into like the early 2000s is, I think, in my opinion, is peak music.
Yeah.
Yep, I agree. Yep.
I mean, the kind of music that just came out, all the experimental. I mean, you had like Linkin Park. I don't even know what you could classify them as.
It was,
Well, I enjoyed the 80s rock too. 80s,
I mean, it's
I would say
good.
80s rock, 90s, and early 2000s
80s
are
is
the
good.
best music that we've had.
Yeah, 90s to 2000s is my favorite. It's just there's so many bands. They're all so good. I don't think I've ever heard a song I didn't like from that time.
Yeah.
Love it.
yeah, I don't think it's just different now. Like, I mean, there's some good songs from the 10s, and even now
Yeah,
you
there's
always
always
find a
good
good song that
songs,
you
yeah.
like. But
I think now more so, I find less I like.
I feel
You
like
know?
it's so like
It's so much auto tune now.
not just that, and that is true, but I feel like it's so controlled by these labels. Like like they make you have to go like a certain style, a certain like sound a certain way. I feel like it was more free in the 90s, 2000s. Now it's like it's more like this is what you gotta do. You gotta sound like this. You gotta do this, and that's what we're gonna do.
I think it's back then the artists I think were a little like
We're all tripping on like acid.
yeah. So
Yeah.
that's where the creativity came from.
And it was phenomenal. It sounded
was.
great.
So we're promoting bringing acid.
We're not doing that, so kids do not do that.
I think if you go to like Portland, Oregon, I think it's like all legal now. I think they legalized everything. But
Portland just a.
No, I think it was they legalized
Portland.
mushrooms.
Yeah.
So maybe that. Yeah.
How
that's
are
it.
we on this?
I don't know. How did we go from
What
Pat
was even
McAfee
the
to
topic?
like? I don't.
Oh my god, we go from this to mushrooms.
I don't know. All right, so the quick question, we're going off topic, way off topic here, but all right. After, like, all right, we all probably grew up the pop music, and then after we kind of in middle school started like forming our own identity, what was your like your go-to like bands in like call it middle school?
I mean, obviously, I was a big Linkin Park fan. I had every album.
Yeah.
Like I was like the typical middle school kid from our time. Like it was like I might have been the only band I listened to. Like consistent. I had all the albums. You know, Hybrid Theory, Meteora, you name it. Linkin Park.
You kind of look like Mike Shinoda.
Oh, do I?
You
That's the first time I got
I think
that.
you remind me a little of your voice and everything. I think you might be him.
All right, Mike. Well, let's collab.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, Linkin Park definitely band-wise the one. But also, you know, it can't go wrong with your Eminem back in the day too.
Yeah.
If you're going away from bands though.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're just getting music in general.
But- yeah,
For
One-
rap, I was
one
big
album-
50 Cent.
Yeah, one of my enjoyed
G-Unit.
too was the Linkin Park Jay-Z combo album.
Oh, Collision
Yeah,
Course.
Collision
Yeah.
Course.
That was
Yeah.
a great album.
Yep.
Go on, brush your shoulders off.
Yeah, that was nice. That's the first time where I was like young, where I had like you heard like the rock and rap collab, and it just works. It just works.
If you get the right
band.
bands together, though, you
Yeah,
know, if it's the
yeah.
wrong people, it sounds like complete hot garbage. But you
That
know,
was
if it's
good.
the right people.
That was good.
But now the popular thing is country and a rapper now.
They
Morgan
did
Wallen did it with Lil
Yeah,
Durk.
and then you had
Then Nelly and Ford
Lil Nas X and Billy Ray
No.
Cyrus did one together.
Oh, maybe Tim McGraw.
And
Yeah.
it was Nelly and Florida Georgia Line. Were
Yeah, they
together.
did Windows Down
Oh, he
and
did
Cruise.
do that.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm thinking the Nelly Tim McGraw. Remember that song
Yeah.
from Modell's "Over My Head"? Or,
Yep.
Over
Oh.
my head.
Yep,
Is
I know
that
what you're talking about,
In
yep.
With
my head?
Cable Car,
No,
the
you're right.
Day to
Yeah.
Remember cover?
Yeah.
That's not rapping.
No,
But
that's
yeah,
not.
but yeah,
no.
that's the popular thing. That was country and rap. Like you know, that's crazy how we gradually evolved from what rap goes with. So I'm curious what it goes with next. Next, you have like a little K-pop song with a little rapper on it.
Could be,
I
yeah.
don't even know what
Or have
K-pop
like,
is. It's
Korean
impressive.
pop.
I know it's weird that you know that.
or have like bluegrass and rap, or like
Just
you
have
know,
death
somebody
metal.
comes up with
Jazz. Someone's playing a
a fucking
trumpet.
harmonica and
That's
just
what, I'm gonna get a rap song over a trumpet beat.
Yeah, maybe some death metal and rap too while we're at it.
Just give me a trumpet. I'm a rap. That's gonna be so hard.
Hey, I think we need to start a band here.
I ain't
Yeah,
playing
the
trumpet.
consultants. Yeah.
So we'll consult. We'll consult. See what we
Consult.
come up with.
We're gonna start a record label.
Our next podcast, we're gonna
We're gonna go out and find artists out there. We're gonna collab them together and create like a new sound.
see what we get.
I want to feel like when I found Linkin Park. I remember I was watching MTV in like middle school.
TRL. Oh,
TRL,
man.
yeah.
Yep.
God,
Yeah.
MTV was goated
Yep.
back in the day.
Carson Daly, you know.
Oh, the
MTV
best.
Spring Break.
I
saw some things I never saw before in my life.
that's how we
Wow,
grew
made
up.
me a man. I was like,
Sure
I'm
did.
done with these Tonka toys. I want that.
Tonka toys.
That's what I changed. So I was like, yep.
Oh, that's it.
MTV Spring Break and Seaside Heights.
Yeah, and right after you flip over to the scrambled channels or whatever.
Oh,
Oh my god.
Shout out Carson Daly.
All right, let's kind of wrap this up a little bit. What would you say? All right, with all those memories, I think each of our teams have been to a Super Bowl in our lifetime. Yeah. What would you say? Or it doesn't even have to be your team. What's like a favorite Super Bowl memory or game you remember watching, kind of growing up? Like, and
the ones I hate the most were obviously when the Niners lost or when the Giants won. Because when the Giants won, I had to go to Modell's and deal with all those lovely people.
To make an extra $4
$4 for the week.
The week.
I did overtime. I got $4 extra, and when you taxed it, it was 62 cents.
Yep, and they're all obnoxious in there. Like, just go away.
Worst. That's the worst, man. I don't really have any positive Super Bowl memories because
you weren't around when the Steve Young wins in the early '90s.
When the Niners won, it was like what, 95, kid, right? 94. I was like 3 years old. I don't remember that.
Didn't they win in like 90s? No, the Cowboys won.
94, 95 was the last year.
Yeah, my positive was the Kurt Warner Super Bowl against the Titans, where the ball, ended at the 1 yard line. Can't forget that one.
Yep, yeah, the Kevin Dyson where he's like.
And the one that just happened too was a great moment. Especially when it came to the dramatics 4th down play, Aaron Donald big sack. One that stands out to me too is even going back a few years where we had the Greg Zuerlein 6-yard field goal to take them to the Super Bowl, which they eventually lost that year, unfortunately, to the Patriots. And that was one of my favorite moments, like seeing that field goal. I remember I was like, like a little kid, hunch up on the ground saying, please make it, please make it. And I just remember exploding, for joy when he made it, because, how hard it is for a kicker to make a 60 yards on field goal, albeit, you're in the NFC Championship game, 3 seconds on the clock. Like, that's so much pressure to make that kick, I think that's one of my favorites as well.
I'll tell you my favorite. It wasn't a Super Bowl, but it was a 2011 divisional game, Niners-Saints. That's when the Saints were having the, what do they call it, when they're getting paid to, the bounty game.
Oh, the bounty hunter, yeah.
But that's when the Niners were, the first time in the Super Bowl, since I was 10, and Alex Smith just having a game of his life, that back and forth game, divisional round, beautiful.
Love it. I mean, if we're going playoffs, if we're just going to make this about playoffs, one of my favorites, obviously, the Eagles won the NFC Championship in 2004. That was a lot of fun. Yeah. I was in high school, and it was the first time I ever saw that. After 3 straight years of blowing it. Yep. The 4-26 game against the Packers was awesome. There's a lot of good playoff games.
If we're going regular season, I'd probably say for me as a Rams fan was Rams-Chiefs. When you have Mahomes and Jared Goff go back-to-back, head-to-head, and, it was 52-45 the final score. It was just no defense whatsoever.
Game was trash. You know why? That happens in the Big 12 every week, and some people are like, oh, this conference sucks. No one plays football. NFL, they're like, this is the greatest game ever. This is fucking awesome.
I think it was because you had the best 2 offenses going head-to-head in that.
The Big 12 has the best offenses every year. No one's talking about that.
I'd say my favorite regular. Now we're going regular season. I was like, "Oh, what's your favorite Super Bowl?" Now we're talking about what's your favorite preseason game.
Let's stop before we end up in the preseason. Yeah. What's your favorite off-season workout?
I always liked the fucking 40-yard dash.
I love the combine.
Do you have a favorite draft pick by your team since you can remember?
Favorite draft pick? Wow, that's a good one.
Danny Watkins.
Oh, the fireman.
28-year-old fireman.
I think for me,
that's a throwback. I've not heard that name in
I don't think he played.
He played 2 games, and he's like, I can't make the game. I'm volunteering. I'm like, dude,
I got a call.
I think for me, the moment was Sam Bradford, but obviously,
That was your favorite draft pick of all time?
In the moment, Sam Bradford. Yeah, in the moment, I'm talking about, not looking back, saying oh, that player turned out great. In the moment, how you felt about that draft pick. I think Sam Bradford was the most I was amped up about, going into a draft.
I think mine was Navarro Bowman, just because I was a big Penn State fan, and I was upset when he left early, and then when Niners drafted him, I was like, okay, that works.
Favorite draft? Now we're stretching it out. What's your favorite parking spot at the stadium? I'm gonna probably. I think it was the 2009 draft. We got both Jeremy Maclin and LaShawn McCoy. I was like that. When I felt after that, I'm like, let's go.
Yeah, that was a good one. Didn't turn out the best. I mean, McCoy was.
McCoy was good. Maclin was. They're both good, solid players. They just couldn't. They couldn't win anything.
Yeah. Yep.
McCoy just couldn't take care of the football too.
But favorite.
He always cared flinging the ball out. 50,
yeah, 2 fingers holding the ball. Yeah.
Favorite regular season game was Dallas versus the Eagles in 2006. It was the year T.O. went to the Cowboys, and I hated them. I remember I came home from Modell's. It was a 4:00 game. I just got out at 4. I rushed in there, and the Dallas was beating us. The Eagles won with a pick 6. The last play of the game, ran back, and I was like, let's go.
Yeah.
Stripped down naked in the living room. Yeah, was like, excited.
Doesn't
No, I
surprise me.
didn't. Yeah, I was exaggerating.
You
a little
stripping? No, wrong
bit.
guy.
No,
Wrong
not
guy.
at all. But I've had fun here. I think
Yeah.
I think we're tapped out. We went way off.
Yeah, before we
script a
go
little bit.
back and
Yeah.
any further,
We
let's
go
just
over an hour. At this
end it on a
point.
good note here.
Yes. So follow us wherever you get your podcasts, Apple, Spotify, and Google, at Bossin Out. Follow us on TikTok, at Bossin Out, and on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter, at Bossin Out. Give us a shout. Give us a shot. We're
Tell us what you want to hear.
Tell us what you want to hear. Send us your thoughts or what you didn't like. Actually, don't tell me what you didn't like. I'm really sensitive. And I'm not ready for that. But thanks always for our special guest, AD in the house. And thanks to the one and only Donnie B. We're excited to be back together. We'll be back next week with another edition of Bossin Out, wherever you get your podcasts. And subscribe on YouTube as well.
Yep.
But for CB,
BB.
AD.
we'll see you next time here on Bossin Out. We'll see you.